I'm going to paint this imagery, understanding, poetically. Poetically. So, during my exponential spiritual awakening journey, I want to start by saying, I want to apologize to myself. I want to apologize to myself. I want to apologize to myself. You'll hear it in the Kingdom Things podcast history, throughout the Kingdom Things podcast history, where I had resentment towards myself, or the earlier days of my life, beginning years of my life, I had resentment towards myself. Excuse me for chewing in your ear. I'm being guided to stop chewing. I had resentment towards myself. Why, Ashley? Because I was misplacing the energetic alchemy within me. I was misplacing those energies. Our consciousness and what we call, I'm being guided not to stop using that terminology, like separation consciousness. Stop using the terminology separation consciousness. Stop using the terminology lack consciousness, survival consciousness. We created mental patterns. We create mental patterns that we associate with energies, right? So, whenever I feel deeply, there's judgment towards myself. And everything that we experience in our reality is a reflection or projection of the energies that we hold within. So, any situation that I've experienced in my life in which I was met with perceived pain, I held resentment towards that situation, that energy. Whole time I have higher wisdom, I'm in alignment with higher wisdom, knowledge, understandings that anytime we feel, it's our body attempting to rectify energies within our DNA or within that we embody within self. So we know the parable of the soul. The soul, has a soul contract, we like to say, or an outline of the things that we will incarnate and experience in order to learn to grow. So whenever we experience an experience in which makes us feel, we are alchemizing energies in which we already intended to experience in order to elevate self, or elevate the consciousness of all. As we truly only have one consciousness. All of creation truly only has one consciousness. All of creation, or all of God, truly only has one consciousness. It's our thought patterns that create the perceived differences in consciousness, the perceived dimensions, the perceived different dimensions, the perceived different dimensions. In all actuality, everything is one. Our consciousnesses that we project and we create, we sculpt with our thought patterns, create the different dimensions, the differences, perceived differences. Whenever we have an experience in our life that causes us to feel, those feelings are only attempting to alchemize or rectify energies within ourselves in order to elevate into a higher wisdom knowledge of self, or higher wisdom knowledge of all of creation, in order to in turn create a reality that reflects the higher wisdom knowledge of self, higher wisdom knowledge of creation. I was like I was judging myself. So when I felt, it was really only energies within me opening me up into new dimensions of myself, or new energies within myself. Trying not to use the terminology high and low, because we have a preconceived notion of good and better with high and low. So I'm trying to expand and stretch out of the swaddle of old mental patterns. I apologize to myself every way I've ever shown up in any reality. I love you, and we having a ball. We're having a good time. Nothing is ever truly good or bad. Nothing is ever truly right or wrong. There are only experiences to be had. And as we condemn ourselves and others for our experiences, we stagnate ourselves and others into the embodiments of self that we embody, in which we're ashamed of because of the judgment from ourselves and others. In order to elevate, you have to feel it. And if we're ashamed, we don't want to look at it, we hide it from ourselves. In order to elevate, we have to look at it and feel it. In order to allow the universal forces to operate through us, to experience life in different dimensions, and as we perceive it, different dimensions and patternings and colors, shapes, forms. I was also shown that I channeled it a while back. It's in one of the Kingdom Things podcast episodes. We are so much more brilliant than we give ourselves credit for. And why don't we give ourselves credit for our brilliance? Because there's shame in not being bashful. Because we've demonized the ego. But with removing the filter of perception of right or wrong, the filter of perception of judgment, it allows you to be liberated and to experience your brilliance. You don't have to talk about it, just be it, Just be your brilliance. Where the ego comes in is really its lack of self-confidence. You have to talk about it. You have to have titles because you want validation from someone external to yourself. We are all extraordinary energies, extraordinary beings with limitless possibilities to embody and to experience in our lives. The question of how people affect our lives. How people affect our lives. One might believe, one might be triggered into running from a situation that causes differences, changes in your life. Or let's say that you are financially stable or have a financial income that you're used to, and you get with somebody, platonic friendship or, romantic, and you're seeing a change in your life. Like maybe you lose your job, or you have a business that the sales start slowing down. I just got a intuitive gnosis understanding from the oneness of all things, you, I, God, every being of creation. This intuitive knowledge gnosis from the oneness of all things. Whenever we are stretched outside of who we thought we were in any given moment, what we knew as our truth, what we knew as our reality is going to be affected adversely as we would perceive it. Why, Ashley? We've been living in a state of comatose where our realities are based off of patterns of manipulation of our minds. When we start getting into being stretched further into our truth or energies beyond, the proclivity, the patterns of self of our ancestors, we start embodying new energies, and our reality changes and shifts, which will cause perceivably adverse effects. What have you deduced from this Gnosis intuitive knowledge, Benna, Ashley? Thank you for the shakeup of my life. And after the shakeup, you, whatever you're creating is sustainable. You're creating sustainability out of energies of sustainability. I worked my ass off, right? But all of the work wasn't work that was creating sustainability. Why, Ashley? Because I was working out of alignment with my truth. My truth is I know that I am all things, as you are all things, as everything in creation is and are all things. So we never should be working out of the notion of becoming fulfilled. Working to do what you love, to enjoy every moment of life, to enjoy creation, and receiving the harvest of your creation in every moment, through the joy, through the love, through the relationships, the bonds, the growth, the self-growth, the healing of dysfunction within yourself, within your relationships, the building of creations that are from, intuitive understandings of your truth, appreciating every dimension that spawns from the energies of your truth, whether that be finances, whether that be health, whether that be relationships, whether that be balanced relationships, whether that be, creating families, whether that be just a joy you receive of being in creation. As we are currently in heaven, we're never not in heaven. We were sold a lie and we bought it. We bought it. We're never not in heaven. Every dimension and aspect of reality is heaven. Whether you're in the third dimension, quote unquote, the third dimension, or quote unquote, the fifth dimension, we're never not in heaven. As every dimension and aspect of creation is God, is. We're never not in heaven. We're never not in heaven. Our realities are imagery of the patterns of our minds and the energy of our bodies. Our realities are patterns of the thoughts of our mind and the energies of our body. Our realities are the patterns of the thoughts of our mind and the energies of our bodies. We're never not in heaven. When I started my ascension journey, rapid ascension journey, it was, we've always been on our ascension journeys. There's not one moment in our lives where we're not on our ascension journeys. Why, Ashley? Every moment of our lives we're becoming. Every moment of our lives we're becoming. Every moment of our lives we're becoming. Our conscious awareness of the evolution of self through every moment of our lives, in which we call the journey of life, is a part of the becoming. It's a part of the story. It's a part of our stories. It's a part of our stories. There's not one person that's not where there shouldn't be. There's not one person that is above another. There's not one person that's more evolved than another. There's not one person that's more spiritual or intelligent than another. We're just always playing the character or playing the role that we're meant to play in any given moment of our realities. I've seen the kingdom. I've seen the kingdom. I've seen God's kingdom. I've seen the kingdom. And it's understanding that the etymology of existence is a plethora of scenes, dynamics, colors, vibrancies, and which make ourselves and our realities in any given moment. And we're all creating our own, universes, our own realities, our own scenes of imagery, vibrancies, energy that make up, what we call the self, that make up the oneness of all things, that make up our lives, that make up creation. The notion that we've ever been separate from God, or that there's another side, like we say, the spirit world, the other side, it's all one. And our amnesia to this understanding is a part of creation. So there's no one, to harp on or look down upon, frown upon, with the information or the ideology or the life that you align with in any given moment. Why is it so hard? Why was it so hard? Why was it so hard? And for my story to align with, my divine counterpart. All my life I watched movies, love movies, and I want deep love. I want a deep love, an intrinsic love. A love like this. A love like this. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. It's different. It's different because I thought of, I felt that love before. In my story, before I came into new alignment understandings of love, unconditional love, I thought love was longing. I thought love was longing. I thought love was desperation. Ooh, I want that person. Ooh, this is love. I want them so bad. This is love. I knew who my divine counterpart would be since I was 9 years old, because God told me. And my whole life has led up to this moment where my divine counterpart and I are communicating in the third, in this physical reality. We call it the 3D. We're communicating in the 3D, and really 3D, 5D, 5D, because your girl ascended. Your girl ascended. Your girl ascended. Your boy ascended. My divine counterpart is ascended. He's been ascended. He's been awakened. He's been awakened, and it's so funny. I waffle in and out of alignment with the knowing that he's awakened. I awakened to the understanding that there's more outside of what we grew up learning. Awaken to the understanding that there's more. I waffle in and out of this knowing. Why, Ashley? Because I met my match. I asked for my perfect match. I got it. I met my match that shows me who I am, the parts of myself that I'm like, damn, like the parts of myself that cause stagnation, not because that part exists, but because of my lack of accountability for that part of myself. So he shows me parts of myself that have caused me stagnation, and not because those parts of myself exist within myself, but because I didn't acknowledge those parts of myself. There are many. I'm being guided to say trust issues, trust issues, trust issues. Why do you have trust issues, Ashley? Because I was amnesiac, forgetful of the process of existence, where every moment of my life has only always been preparing me for the apexes of my life, for my journey, for what I would want to create in my highest reality. Every moment of our lives is preparing us for what we want to create in our highest realities. It's just that in the past, we would get tripped up on these karmic cycles, and we would get stuck, and we would like give up, and we would just wither away or die in those karmic energies that were only training us for our highest realities. Why has it been so hard for you to unite with your divine counterpart, Ashley? Because my divine counterpart and I have not met in the physical reality, like in the physical, like we communicated, but we haven't met in the physical. Why, Ashley? In order for us to meet, our energies, the energy that is we, I, us, the energy that we are, as my soul told me the story, so that when I got to the point where, I ascended or met within myself, past the understandings of what, reality is and old humanism, so that I wouldn't get lost and fall in an abyss of nothingness. I was already told who I intended to be on a soul level in my highest reality. So my divine counterpart and I are a centrifugal part of this dream, this reality, this highest timeline that I was gifted with by my soul or by God. So my divine counterpart is a centrifugal part of my existence, which I appreciate, because that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just admitting, like, yes, I want a partner to travel life with. But we have all of these, and this is a big thing that I saw today, I gleaned today. We have a reason not to do something for every possibility that there is. The limitless possibilities. We are limitless beings. We are limitless beings. We are limitless beings. But the human consciousness will conjure up a reason for you not to do whatever it is that you want to do. And that's those thought patterns create the limitations, create the stagnations, create the fear, or the reason why I shouldn't be a limitless being and do everything that I want to do. There's a reason. Somebody gonna think for a reason why you shouldn't be who you want to be. And as my job to transmute the energies of the human collective, I am stopped by every energy that says this is not possible, or this is not possible. We call it the darkness, but truly it's a lesson, because once you see it, then you're illuminated to different parts of yourself and new possibilities, new abilities to co-create your life. My divine counterpart is a centrifugal force in my life. And he shows me things about myself that I needed to acknowledge in order to, elevate within myself. So I've seen the kingdom. And alert, full circle moment. We've always been in the kingdom. Full circle moment, alert. We've always been living in God's kingdom. Full circle moment, alert. Humanity, we've always been living in God's kingdom. Full circle moment, alert. We've always been living in God's kingdom. I'm going to be honest right now. I have energies within me that are like, that are resistant to this understanding that I've come into. Why, Ashley? Because we've been told that we weren't good enough for God for centuries, for eons. It's in the human collective. We're not good enough for God. We're waiting for God to come home because we've been bad, We've always been living in the kingdom of God. And it's a beautiful thing. We just have to acknowledge what's in ourselves. Be honest with ourselves. Watch how we relate with others. Watch what we say to others and watch what other people say to us, because it's only a classroom for us to grow within ourselves and become limitless, because you'll be given the codes to your reality to understand that your reality has always been at your will to manipulate and co-create as you please. Co-create. Why, Ashley? Because there is a grander plan that encompasses the all. And we have roles to play. We have parts to play. Whatever we think of, it's a part of that role. It's a part of that part. It's just about acknowledging the intentions, the truth of your intentions. Whether let's say, oh, I only wanted to get married to have children, to fulfill a hole within me that I felt like I had. One might say that is a selfish or frivolous reason to get married. But as long as you acknowledge it, it's not, oh, I shouldn't get married because that was my reason. Just acknowledge it, and then you'll be able to come into greater understandings of why you had that energy within you in which you wanted to have children to fulfill yourself. And you'll still have children, you'll still have that marriage, but you'll be fulfilled because you'll have an understanding of that karmic energy that said you needed fulfillment in order to have something. That said you needed something to fulfill you. You'll come into understanding that you've always been full. And the reason why you're able to manifest or create a family with children and a husband and career and love and abundance is because you've always had it inside of you. We lack nothing, and we've always been within the kingdom of God, or the kingdom, the oneness of all of creation. If you have trust issues, you most likely have control issues. Understanding that every moment of creation is as it should be. Every situation is only for our elevation, upliftment. Is understanding that reality is elusive and multifold, and there's no way to control it there's no way to control it. Just playing your part. Play your part. Play your part. The date it's Mother's Day, May 14, 2023. The world is going to experience ominous, catastrophic, disastrous earthquakes and other weather anomalies that will bring the world to its knees. I don't want... It's about changing our perception on what happens, the things that happen. In order to rebuild something new, something has to be destroyed or adjusted, realigned. Just as when the tectonic plates move, realign or adjust, the earthquakes are an effect of that. The planet is realigning and adjusting, so the weather anomalies and catastrophic disastrous events are effects of the realignment and adjustment. Realignment into divine happenings, realignment into flow, synchronicity with not only our lives, but the planetary bodies. I channeled before in a few podcasts, one of them being 144 Part 1. Hookup is another one. And I think The Moon in the Sky has some information in there. as well as this one, Regenerated. This Kingdom Things podcast installment, Regenerated. Why is it necessary to have a first family of the planet? Why is it necessary to have a first family of the planet? I want to say I just broke through some energies within myself in order to unlock this information from my soul, in order to garner and glean from this information in my soul, in order to garner this wisdom from my soul, in order to learn from this wisdom from my soul. Why is it necessary to have a first family of the planet? You know, with evolving the human consciousness, we are all to be self-sufficient in and of ourselves, co-create our reality in and of ourselves. My ascension process, my family's ascension process is a fast-tracked ascension process. It's like doing millions of years of evolution very quickly. Millions of years of that's really big that I just channeled that. It's like doing millions of years of evolution pretty quickly. Of course, I'm not all the way through my evolution, but like my family's evolution process is fast-tracked. So we're a bit above the curve of the rest of the human culture. You know, we're leading the way. We're leading the way energetically for the human culture. We're a bit above the curve in order to magnetize the curve of the humanity ecosystem of planet Earth, magnetize the ecosystem of planet Earth into higher consciousness. Why is it necessary? Because we are magnetizing the ecosystem of planet Earth into higher consciousness through our fast-tracked ascension process, my family and I. Why? We are extraterrestrial energies, like higher dimensional energies that are beyond the precepts of our understanding of creation. We are to implement energies, processes, plant and seed energy and processes within the planetary ecosystem of Earth in order to assist with the upliftment of all of human culture, all of the planetary ecosystem of humanity, of planet Earth, the animals, the trees, the water, the elements, the people. Did I say animals? The animals uplift the whole ecosystem of planet Earth to live in balance and harmoniously. Of course, there are ups and downs, rhythm, Hermes Trismegistus, Hermetic principles. There's ups and downs, but that's why it's necessary for first family. And like I had an energy within me of like, I don't want it to be like a they versus they versus us. You know how, in the old human consciousness is like they did this, they don't want us to be great, they the powers that be. It's none of that. Not to say that we don't all have energies within us that want to be suppressive to others out of hurt, and it's acknowledging that it's energies within us that are unaligned with our highest wisdom, highest understanding of reality. We all have they energies in us. Every single human being has a they energy within us that wants to suppress something else or someone else, because out of a misalignment with our highest wisdom, our highest understanding of reality, or we call it being unhealed or being hurt. We all have they energies within us. But I was like, that was a big thing for me to like wrap my mind around, my heart around, is like first family of the planet is like, what? Wow. I didn't want it to be like a they versus the people. It's none of that. Like, we are the people. Like, literally, we are the people. And it's for the upliftment and the evolution and the growth of all. Beyond the planet, but like planetary, like, and having the understanding, every human having the understanding of how far and wide, the evolution of humanity stretches, how far and wide the personal self stretches, how far and wide, existence stretches, so that you're not just a peon in a pool of infinite nothingness or infinite beingness. You are, you're important. You're part of a grand operation. I'm going to record this download so I do not forget my journey to aligning greater with my soul, or God, or the oneness of all things. My soul, your soul, God, the oneness of all things, and all actuality have 0 degrees of separation, and all reality has 0 degrees of separation. Got a download. I've been activating different dimensions, different vibrations, frequencies of myself within these different vibrations and frequencies within ourselves projecting to reality, and we call them like other dimensions of ourselves. I've been activating these frequencies within myself, and I've been frustrated because of a humanism quality, an old humanism quality that I used to operate out of extensively, where I want things to go. Like I want it now. Instant gratification. I want what it is that I see, I desire to manifest quickly, rapidly. It's been quick enough. It's been quick enough. I got the download that what I've been doing is setting the stage for when my goddess frequency of self comes online. When my goddess frequency of self comes online, the world is going to be catapulted into the Great Awakening in a more massive way. We've been in the Great Awakening for decades, millennia, as the whole journey of creation. We're ascending, we're awakening. So we've been in the Great Awakening for millennia, but when my goddess aspect activates within, it's going to catalyze humanity into a massive, unmistakable awakening of the planetary ecosystem of planet Earth. So I was super hasty with myself. I was super hasty. And as I've channeled, this energy of haste is an energy in which causes death, causes our biology to decay. So I've been working out of this haste energy. I got the download that I'm being guided to say that again. The energy of hastiness, wanting instant gratification, like wanting things now. That energy of not being able to be patient and wait on the timing of nature is what causes our biology to decay. It causes the telomeres in our cells to shorten. And the telomeres in our cells are capped. And that cap, is analogous to the boxes that we construct ourselves in with the ideology of who we are and what reality is. As soon as we're liberated from the ideology that we are finite, we are defined by anything, that our realities can be defined by anything, the telomeres in our cells will become uncapped. And the telomeres in our cells will regenerate, re-lengthen instead of shorten. That's really cool. That is a channel. That's pretty cool. I've gotten that download before, so I've gleaned from it before. I still have the energy of hastiness, which I needed in order for me to be here right now. You're always where you're supposed to be, and you're always who you're supposed to be. I needed that energy of haste to play my piece of the puzzle, like in the timing that the oneness of all things needed me to play my piece of the puzzle. But I was super hasty with myself. And I was like, I know Kingdom Things podcast is going to go viral in a sense where it's the views and the subscription to Kingdom Things podcast increases at an exponential rate. Gradually and steadily increases at an exponential rate. Gradually and steadily, with ease and grace, increases at an exponential rate. Gradually and steadily, exponentially, with ease and grace, increases at an exponential rate. The views and subscriptions, shares, likes within the Kingdom Things podcast community is going to increase. Like, I knew that was coming. I know it's coming. And I was so hasty with it. Like, I was like anticipating it. Like, I was like, now, I want it now. I want the world. I want the whole world. I had that Veruca Salt energy heavy. Veruca Salt heavy, which is a part of the human genome. We have the Veruca Salt energy where we just want it all now, We want everything that we want, and we want it now. We want it quickly, rapidly. So I had that haste within me, and then I got the download from my goddess essence was like, you were setting the stage for me to come in, for you to ignite the goddess within you, your highest potential, your highest incarnation, vibrational frequency, activate that within yourself. Ground it within this planetary ecosystem, for me to come in and do my thing. And the energy was like, the energy of my goddess essence is like, it's potent, and it has like a sternness to it. It has a sternness to it. It's a bit intimidating myself. Like it's my energy, but it's intimidating. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do what you say. Yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Like, it's intimidating. But I got the download. Like you were setting the stage for your God Goddess activation, or for me to come in to for us to do our thing, to do what we do. My God Goddess lessons is like, I need a red carpet. I need you to set it up. I'm not coming in without you setting this up. You got to set the stage. You got to show me. You got to show me that you want it and set the stage. So like that helps me perceive Key Nothing's podcast in such a more liberated and freeing and gratifying way. Like all this work I was doing, I was setting the stage. And so it shall be. Thank you, Oneness of Everything. Thank you. You know that scene in Being Guided to Say Something Else First. The relationship we've had with our Creator or God, or the Most High White Light Creator Energy, however you refer to our Creator, our God, the Most High White Light Creator Energy. When I say God, take it that way. The relationship we've had with God, which God has always been inside, but the relationship we've had with God inside, or God of all things, God inside, God of all things, God inside, God of all things, is a tumultuous one. Why, Ashley? Because the relationship that we have with God inside, God of all things, is the same. The way we perceive God inside, God of all things, is going to go through the precepts of how we perceive relating with people, relating with ourselves. So the way we relate with people, relate with ourselves, that's how we're going to perceive our relations with God inside, God of all things. You know that scene in The Notebook where he's like, I can't remember, I don't remember his name. Noah's like, what do you want? And then I can't remember the girl's name, the woman's name. She was like, I don't remember what she said. Oh, she said something about a house. She's like, oh, I'm about to go watch this scene. I should have watched it before. But that scene, y'all know what I'm talking about. That's how God's like to us. That's what God is saying to us. Like, what do you want? I'm trying to give it to you. What do you want? But we have this relationship with ourselves and others where we feel like we're not willing to forgo how we relate and how we manifest and how we operate in our reality, how humanity figured the operations and realization of creation, or God inside, God of all things. We're not willing to forgo that ideology. And the only way to get everything that we want, when God's like, what do you want? The only way to get that is to forgo what we thought we knew. To become empty, to become a void. I surrender. And it's new levels of surrendering, like every day, every moment. I surrender. So I've welcomed the highest incarnation that my soul has experienced, or Ensof, Kabbalah, Ensof, the great creator power, the Most High Creator Energy, or God, infinite God, within my beingness. And last night when I was listening to music, and I was intuitively guided to like turn it off. And the way it came through, it was like a stern, like voice, and it reminded me of like my divine counterpart. Why, Ashley? Because like I associate like power with like father, husband, man. As humanity has filtered or has a perception that God, or the Most High White Light Creator Energy, is father. Not only father, but we created a father that is destructive, abusive, abandons its creation. So that's the human, planet Earth's perception, deeply perceived perception of this Most High White Light Infinite Creator power. On top of that, the human being has a deep hatred of self, as the human being has shunned its infinite power, right? And we perceive darkness, or where our infinite power lies, because within the darkness is a potential to alchemize the darkness into light, or shine light on the darkness in order to perceive new dimensions of self, perceive new dimensions of reality, perceive new dimensions of the oneness of all things, or the Most High White Light Creator Energy, or God. Self, our reality, the oneness of all things, the Most High White Light Creator Energy, God, in all actuality having 0 degrees of separation. So last night I was listening to music, and it was like, turn it off. The voice came through very stern, like, turn it off. And I prideful, like, my pride said, no, I'm not turning it off. And then I heard, like, energetically, I felt and perceived clairaudiently, like, how am I supposed to work with her? How am I supposed to work with her? And then I was guided to kneel down, like, clairvoyantly. I saw it in my mind's eye, me kneeling down. Mind you, my window's cracked at the bottom. So when I kneeled down, I was able to feel a breeze of air come in and hit my face. And with that breeze of air, it was like, turn that shit off. Turn that shit off. And I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, I turned it off. I turned the music off. And then I went to brush my teeth and I lay down and I went into meditation. I breathed. And then I, like, myself or God in self was like, do you know why, you perceived that way? Do you know why it came through so stern? And no, what I said, I was like, do not talk to me like that. I was like, do not speak to me like that. I said, do not speak to me like that. And then I got the response, do you know why, you perceived it that way? Do you know why you perceived it that way? And I was like, I channeled a while back, and I had the understanding, the knowing that the way we relate to ourselves is the way we relate, and the way we relate to others is the way we're going to be able to perceive and relate with God. The way we relate to ourselves and others is the way that we perceive and relate to God. The way we relate to ourselves and others is the way we perceive and relate to God, or the darkness. We've demonized the darkness. We demonize the darkness. We've truly ostracized ourselves, and we feel like we've been abandoned by God. But in all actuality, we turned our blind eye to ourselves, so we couldn't perceive that God has always been us and we've always been God. So as we experience calamity in our world, as people start acting out of character, or start maybe like angry or violent, auspicious, it's because the darkness that was shunned, that is being illuminated, the way the darkness is going to be illuminated, and the way we perceive the illumination is the degree in which we relate with ourselves. And we came in, and we're embodying these energies, and we come in with these cocoons, or these karmic energies that we're supposed to transmute and elevate. But what we end up doing is we shun our internal environment, and we just relate to the external world, or the way we relate to the external world is usually shaped how we relate to our families, right? And I grew up with my mother in a house full of girls. I have 5 sisters, and we all, of course, incarnated with cocoons. So we have these energies in which we, projected onto one another. God said the planet Earth is the alchemy of the energies of that came together to create source energy, or the Most High, the White Light Creator Energy. And these 6 spheres or 7 spheres of creation that came together to alchemize to create Inself, or the Most High White Light Creator Energy. The alchemy created what we would perceive as energies of disgruntlement, energies of anger, energies of jealousy, envy, rage. That's how we perceive it, through our filter of understanding. In all actuality, these energies have no name on them, but the way we relate to ourselves and each other is the way in which we perceive these energies. So last night it was like, turn that shit off. I was able to view my pride. And then I ate breakfast at a park this morning, and I was able to perceive that I got the download that everything I just said, the way I related with my sisters and my mother and my friends and lovers to this point has been in a dysfunctional manner. Why, Ashley? Because I've been relating through the filter of the perception of jealousy, envy, rage, disgruntlement. Why, Ashley? Because I didn't go inside of myself, because I needed to go inside of myself, get to know myself, sit with myself, meditate, shine light, and understand the darkness that I have within, the darkness being in self, the most high white light creator energy, or our God, goddess essence, of which we came to this planet to understand, grow, learn, and create with and from. I'm energetically convening with the energies of eternal beings, as I have joined the Eternal Being Club, and I'm perceiving the eternal beings, and they are beings from all over creation whom have evolved into alignment with Enself, the most high white light creator energy. And I felt like it was giving energy, like waiting room energy, like you're just waiting in the waiting room for a doctor's appointment or an interview. My energy was very flat. Why, Ashley? Because I have energies, reclusive energies within me. Why, Ashley? Because in our old humanism paradigm, there can only be one number one, right? There can only be one number one. We have an elitist mentality within the old human being creation. So when you come into the eternal being waiting room, and there's many infinite eternal beings, that trigger of elitism is going to be triggered. And that's what happened. And I saw it. I was like, oh gosh. I was like, oh Lord. I saw it, not judging myself. But there was some judgment there, but I forgive myself for that. Let that go. I saw it, and then it was like party. It's like party time. It's like party time, because we have this old world understanding of God, and it's like in the old texts, even like Essene teachings and ancient theology and ideology. It's like you can't. No one looks to God in its eye. No one looks to Creator in its eye. It's very ominous, auspicious, mystic energy around God, the most high white light creator energy. When it's like the antithesis, it's like community. It's love. It's joy. It's happiness. It's excitement to be in the waiting room of the most high white light creator energy as an eternal being. I'm on my morning walk, and I received directive, understanding, higher wisdom understanding of, what family is to be, with higher consciousness, awareness of self, or the oneness of all things. Family is just like the story of God, just like creation. Creation is an amalgamation of infinite stories that come together to create a new story, that come together to create a new story, that come together to create a new story. As when you birth a child or birth a creation, there are two or more elements that come together. Let's just say the example of a child. There are two creations, two people that come together to create a third creation, or a child. That is infinite creation. Creations coming together to create a new creation. That is the story of God. That is the story of creation, infinite creation. So family is a higher wisdom understanding of family is, great job, Hazel. A higher wisdom understanding of family is we know that we are infinite beings having a human experience. So we have an Akashic record or experience that stems far past this one embodiment or this one lifetime. Wait, Hazel, please. Hazel, wait, please. This one lifetime. So family is to be aligned with the understanding that when our children come in, they are not new. They are not new. They have an expansive and infinite toolbox of experience that is to assist with the creation of the family that we bring it to fruition. Don't eat that, Hazel. Hazel, no, please. Hazel, no. So our families, our children, having the understanding, the mutual respect of each dimension of our family as being an infinite, expansive creation that is assisting with the co-creation of what we call our family unit or our homes. And is what do we create with our family unit? What do we spawn from our family unit? What energies do we co-create and experience and love within unconditionally with our family unit? Our beingness operates through the operating system of collective consciousness. Our beingness operates through the operating system of collective consciousness, the energetic webs of collective consciousness. So if you're vibrating at the frequency of collective consciousness, you're going to operate through collective consciousness. So the things that collective consciousness are doing, the ideology and theology that collective consciousness holds, that's where you're going to be swayed to. Vibrating above collective consciousness in order to create a web of energy, a new collective consciousness that vibrates at a higher frequency of understanding of the workings of the universe of creation. We have this deeply rooted stigma in regards to being alone. Deeply, deeply entrenched stigma in regards to being alone. Deeply rooted, entrenched stigma in regards to being alone within the old human consciousness. So, raising your consciousness above, the fray, above old human operating system, above the old human consciousness. And if you're going, leading or going places that most people aren't, you're going to be alone. You're going to experience loneliness. And I have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge that in order to transcend any energies that are keeping us weighed down, or transcend any energies that are tying us to the old human consciousness, the old way of being. I acknowledge it and I accept it. It is the morning of May 18, 2023. I'm excited because I just got a download, understanding of myself. So every cycle and phase in our lives, or every cycle and phase of ourselves, which project every cycle and phase in our lives, are all for our growth and our betterment, right? I don't know about you, but for a long time I pondered, because God inside has shown me, gave me glimpses of who God inside intended for me to be since I can remember, 3 or 4 years old. There's this park. It's called Garrison Park in Austin, Texas. And when I was a small child, I was under it's like a stage thing with a big canopy on top of it. I was under it, and I looked up and I spun in a circle, and I just felt the energy of being a performer. And the way God showed it to me was the movie Selena. When Selena was at the performance in Houston, the Houston rodeo performance. So that's how God showed it to me. So my whole life I've been working to try to I've been hustling to try to become that person, that God showed me I would be when I was 3 or 4 years old. On top of many other things, God showed me who my husband would be, God seated within my heart to have like a family, and not just have a family, but God seated with me like the qualities that I work to instill within my family. And I've learned, in order to instill these values within my family, loyalty, respect, trust, love, unconditional love, self-love, unconditional self-love. In order to instill these values into my family, I have to be that, I have to hold that energy. How do you hold the energy? By going inside and working through the energies of the cycle that is training you up to become who God intended for you to become in your highest reality, or who God inside yourself intended for you to become in your highest reality. Your soul intended for you to become in your highest reality. God inside yourself, your soul having 0 degrees of separation in all actuality. So I was like, I was sitting on the floor. I sleep on the floor a lot to like ground my energy. I was sleeping on the floor and to stay grounded. And I got up and I was just like thinking, because last night I went through files on my computer, and I was like, oh, I've been at this for a long time. Like I used to do diaries, vocal diaries, and I would like talk myself up, And it's a lot like what I do with Kingdom Things podcast is like talking myself up with like wisdom and things like that. Wisdom and guidance, wisdom and guidance, wisdom and guidance. So I was like, dang, like, I wonder, like, I was like, it's been 10 years. I was like, truly, it's been like 10 years since I've been like, so God told me like to, got inside, I got the intuitive nudge to, drop my college courses and, do my music thing full force. Got the God inside guidance to do that. So I did it, and I experienced a lot of things, good and the bad, in between. Experienced a lot of things. It's been really stretching for me. Last 10 years really stretched me. I was like, dang, it's been 10 years. I was like, that sounds like solid, God. That sounds like God inside. That sounds pretty solid for, training grounds. A training camp, 10 years sounds pretty solid. It sounds like transit. It sounds like it's time for a transit into my new self, new body. And as I thought that, I sat with myself in peace for like a minute, and then I got the download that said, your template for who you're supposed to be for forever, or like your God goddess template is now activated. Like it's activated. You are who you were supposed to be, who I intended for you to be. What does unlocking my God goddess template or forever template look like? You perceive the world as you are, not as it is. You perceive the world as you are, not as it is. You perceive the world not as you are, not as it is. So our cocoons, our karmic energies, those are the energies that we like come in with, and we spend, a good majority of our life in those energies, which project our realities, our lives, and it create situations and dynamics that we were on a soul level or a God goddess level intended to work through in order to, graduate into our forever template or a God goddess template. A lot of the times, past few thousand years, we would just stagnate in our, karmic cocoon templates, and we would die within that template. We wouldn't graduate, and we would die because we stagnated in that template. That's why we would die, because we stagnated in that template. So what does graduating into my forever God goddess template look like? It looks like I could perceive the world in greater forms, greater ways than perceiving the world as, being a victim to this chaotic dynamic called planet Earth. I received a vision, an oracle, a message clairvoyantly as I perceived that the human being has superseded its need for its ancestral human evolutionary DNA, such as like the Neanderthal or survival consciousness, the hunter-gatherer survival consciousness aspect of our genome, which has never evaded us, has yet to evade us. I saw clairaudiently like the planetary system graduating into higher consciousness is graduating into a demystified, mystical reality where, survival isn't necessary. The DNA genome patterning of survival isn't necessary. As I have and am now in union internally with, more so internally with my goddess essence, with my divine balance, more harmony, more so harmonized within my masculine, feminine energy, yin and yang, dimensions and aspects of self, complementary aspects of self. And I also incarnated with the highest potential for light on the planet, light, a source energy on the planet. So what does that mean? Actually, I incarnated with equal darkness. If we hadn't grown up in dysfunctional families, if we hadn't had traumatizing childhoods, if we hadn't been dimmed as children, we would act in this world in a way that's equally as destructive as we feel like we are beneficial when we're in our light. So if we didn't have our traumatizing realities, we would be equally as destructive in our light essence. Why actually balance. We need balance. The darkness isn't demons or devils. The darkness is a polar aspect, a harmonizing aspect, a complementary aspect to our light essence. Too much of anything is no good. Too much of anything causes imbalance. Too much of anything causes dysfunction. Too much of anything causes disease. I perceived up-leveling within myself before as leaving things and people behind, as we often do. We often perceive growing, stretching, ascending as leaving people and things behind, leaving our past behind. In all actuality, our past contains dimensions and aspects of ourselves that are one with us. And in order to truly elevate and ascend, we have to bring all of us. As no dimension and aspect of ourselves is less than, as every dimension and aspect of ourselves serves to as a harmonizing aspect and functionality dimension of self. My mind's eye clairvoyantly, I'm seeing, let's say it's a board game with a board, like a level in a video game, and this level, you can see the map of the whole level. And when you go to the next level, instead of leaving the map behind and you're just your character, just your avatar moves to the next level, the whole map elevates to the next level, but the map transforms into a new reality. New world of God dream. The alchemy of human consciousness or humanality with oneness consciousness or goddess consciousness is on a whole nother level. That's the only way I can verbalize the experience of experience. Part of me did not believe, or the me that I identified with. So I'm going to say I didn't believe, truly believe in myself. I didn't believe that I was beneficial. I didn't believe that I was enough. I didn't believe that I was worthy, so much so that, unintentionally and partly intentionally, but I didn't know this intention was out of alignment with my truth. I was trying to figure out how to reach my goals, figure out how to obtain my goals. My goals, conscious goals that I'm, working on in this space of my reality, Kingdom Things podcast, my literature, my music, my family, my birth family, and then family of my creation, my contribution to this generation and many generations to come. What else? Oh, my happiness, my love for self. I didn't believe that I was worthy of any of these things. I felt like I had to do extra. I had to overcompensate in order to live in this reality of my wildest dreams. How did I do this myself? I sacrifice myself, or I think about others all of the time. I'm always thinking about others, or I'm thinking about how I'm scheming up. I'm scheming about how to do it. All the while, it's your beingness. It's just being who you are that attracts everything that you desire. When we start thinking about how to do it, we think about scheming up, that's when we thwart or dilute the harvest that we reap from the light, or the seeds and the light and the growth, the crops that are self. We're all truly trees that can bear fruit and are to bear fruit. Every person is a tree of life that is to bear many fruit, many crops, to last and last and last and last. To plant more seeds for generations to come, to last and last. To plant more seeds for generations to come, to last and last and last. But we dilute and thwart. And it's more than our ego. It's much, much more than our ego. It's many dimensions and aspects of ourselves that are multifaceted, that want their way. Because they figure that what they want, those aspects of yourself, figure what it wants isn't already yours to be had. There's many aspects of yourself that figure what it wants isn't yours to be had. There are many aspects of yourself that figure what you want isn't yours to be had, and it all, comes down to belief in self. But it's whittling away the self that is, we can call it illusionary or delusional, but it's what we create from the light that we are. It's what we create from the circumstances. Everything in reality is a delusion or an illusion. The only thing real is the energy of God, the Most High White Light Creator. Everything in reality is a delusion or illusion. The only thing that's real is the Most High White Light Creator of God. Everything in reality is an illusion or delusion. The only thing that's real is the Most High White Light Creator energy of God. That's why when I became empty and I saw this, I was like, damn. Well, damn. I was like, I was less motivated to allow myself to enjoy my reality. Why, Ashley? Because I was able to perceive that everything is a contortion or illusion, delusion of how you perceive reality. So I felt guilty about, living in abundant reality, because I'm like, everyone could do this. Everyone could do this. Everyone could do this. So what do? That part of me that feels guilty, or the part of me that wants control, the part of me that wants control, the part of me that wants control stymied myself. Because stymieing myself, I live in a reality in which there are perceived limits. And in these perceived limits, I have control over my lack. Like, I have control over, of these things, it's the smallest little things. Like, I can blame, things external to myself, and I can know what to expect. I can know what to expect. I can know what to expect in my lack, in my limit reality, by stymieing myself, allowing myself to be limitless. I know what's coming is going to be great, but I don't know what to expect. I lose the perceived control of my reality. And then there's the other part of me that wants to utilize this magic of being able to contort this delusion in which we call, life, to, my will, thy will. Me and God are one. Me and God are one. Me and God are one. So I felt guilty. I felt guilty about that. Like, we call it the ego, or like the human consciousness. If we belittle the ego or our humanality, like our ego or our humanality isn't worth God, our God essence isn't comparable or harmonics to God. So I just saw that how I was trying to run off on the plug. I was trying to run up on the plug. I was trying to run up on God. I was trying to run up on God. That's what it felt like. But God's like, no, you just had to see it. You just had to stand next to me, like stand next to your truth, stand next to the light of I, or God, or the oneness of all things. You had to stand next to it, and all of your humanality and all of the things that the history of humans said it wasn't worthy of me. You had to stand next to me with all of that to see that I still love you. I still love you. You're carrying all that. I still love you. Like, come stand next to me. Come be with me. Come co-create with me. Come co-create with me. Come co-create with me. You have all of that baggage. You're a liar. You get jealous. You get envious. You can be angry. You can be manipulative. And you see these things inside of yourself. You've seen these things inside of yourself. You've been able to see this inside of yourself. Your lack of self-worth. You've been able to see all this inside of yourself. Come stand next to me. Come co-create with me. Let's go make some stuff. I'm going to show you how much I love you, how much you are loved. Because of all the beautiful things that we're going to make, with all of the things that you thought were worthless or unworthy of me, you, the oneness of all things, or God. God's like, you don't have to run from yourself anymore because I accept you. Stop running into distractions because I accept you. You don't have to run off on the plug. I am you. You are me. Like, I accept you. Let's go co-create. Let's go co-create. Put the baggage down. You don't have to feel burdened or shameful about who you are because I know you. I made you. Let's go co-create. Let's go co-create. The planetary ecosystem of Father and Mother Gaia, which is in all actuality, or another dimension of perceiving reality, or realm of creation, of limitless, infinite realms of creation. The planetary ecosystem of Father and Mother Gaia is now in conjunction with the alignment of divinity, or the alignment of the Most High Creator, or the alignment of the oneness of all things. What does this mean, actually? There will be a plethora of incidents that occur on the planet to awaken humanity to its divine truths. many things have happened in our seemingly individual lives and collectively as an ecosystem to shake up what we knew as normality. This will only continue at a rapid and exponential rate with ease and grace, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it shall be. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday. Awakened Ashley. Further awakened Ashley, as your life and existence is a journey of coming into greater alignments with your deeper truths. Your truest truths. Happy birthday to you. So for a long time, my soul, God, and the oneness of all things. My soul, God, and the oneness of all things. And your soul, in all actuality, having 0 degrees of separation for a long time. My whole life, I always knew there was something I was supposed to be doing. Like something impactful, something pressing was always in my heart. I got glimpses of what, of a high vibrational reality, or a reality of limitless possibilities, or a reality in which if you told someone about it, they would say you're delusional, or that's never going to happen, or keep dreaming. My whole life I've gotten these downloads. Now I know they're downloads and glimpses into what God created for me to be. As the energies that we embody project our reality. So I was getting these downloads my whole life since I can remember. I've had these visions of what my life was to be. And I've always had this deep knowing, unknown knowing. So it was like a knowing, but I forgot it. I was like, there's something I'm supposed to remember, but I cannot remember what it is. I would be like, damn, there is something I'm supposed to be remembering, but I can't remember. An unknown knowing. I was like, I can't remember what it is. It's something pressing heavily on my heart space. Heavily. I was like, dang, I'm supposed to be someone. I'm supposed to be doing something. I'm supposed to be somebody. I can't remember, though. I'm doing all of these things, trying to get into alignment with all of the visions, grandiose visions I've had all of my life. And, and it's just not clicking. Like I'm not feeling satisfied. Why, Ashley? Because I was always where I was supposed to be, and I was always who I was supposed to be. But I was expecting for my validation, my joy, my bliss, my happiness, my abundance to come external from myself. That's how humanity has lived for millennia. We get temporary highs, temporary joy, temporary happiness, temporary abundance from doing or manual labor outside of ourselves. But I incarnated on this planet, I being the oneness of all things, the energy that is I, that is the oneness of all things, the energy of unconditional love, the energy that is I, unconditional love, and oneness of all things in yourself, in all actuality, having 0 degrees of separation. I incarnated on this plane to elevate the human being of planet Earth into a new reality where you manifest your reality, or you create your reality off of a foundation of an energetic fulfillment. Authentic energetic fulfillment. So you create your foundation, you create your foundation of your reality off of an authentic energetic fulfillment. What does that mean? Actually going within to view all of the energies that dispel all of the energies that say that you're less than everything that you ever wanted to be. When we do this, we're able to be the conscious awareness behind the thoughts, the conscious awareness behind the emotions, the conscious awareness of our energies, in order to perceive that we are the conscious awareness, we are God, we are the oneness of all things, that are to view the energies, view the emotions, view the thoughts, dispel the energies, dispel the emotions, dispel the thoughts that are not in alignment with our truths. Anything that is judgmental, critical, or disparaging to self or others, self and others in all actuality have 0 degrees of separation, is out of alignment with your truest truth. Your truest truth has an understanding that everything is as it should be when it is to be. So there is nothing to judge, there's nothing to criticize, there's nothing to disparage, there's only things to experience in order to come into greater alignment with self and the oneness of all things, greater alignment with your truest truth, your authentic energetic frequency, in order to build your reality, create your reality from your authentic energetic frequency, or the oneness of all things, or God, or unconditional love. everything that we experience in our lives is a breadcrumb or a seed or an understanding of projection of ourselves in order for ourselves to be reminded of who self is. I watched a video on YouTube. It was about spirituality, about consciousness. And there was a gentleman, he said, that you only need one in a collective. In humanity, we would only need one person to realize a higher state of conscious awareness in order to magnetize, uplift the whole human culture, the whole human consciousness of planet Earth, the whole ecosystem of planet Earth. You only need one. My whole spiritual awakening journey, as your whole life and beyond this life experience, you've been on a spiritual awakening journey or coming into further alignment with your authentic frequential patterning or your soul or God, the oneness of all things. You only need one. And in order for me to play my pieces of the puzzle, I have to own it. I am that one. God's been telling me, I need you to break past the conscious webs of energetic proclivity, of energetic happenstance, of energetic understandings of the past human consciousness. I need you to go further in order to view that it's all a game. In order to view that it is all an illusion, in order to view that you are the conscious awareness, viewing the game, viewing the illusion of the energies, the thoughts, emotions. I was afraid to do it because I know the loneliness. This isn't the first life or the first planet or the first place or the first realm or the first dimension in which I've done this. So I know the loneliness. So that translate into this reality as an energy that wants to attach onto the herd, attach to the human collective, attach onto the trends of the human consciousness, which I did very well. And with me doing that very well, that lets me know, that shows me my capability of going above and beyond old human consciousness in order to magnetize humanity into a new domain, new paradigm of understanding, new paradigm domain of reality, a new world, a God dream.